Ruler School is brought to you by Odyssey Games, where you can go to pre-order upcoming Force of Will sets, ccgprime.com for singles and supplies, cardodoco.com for those rulers in the international market looking for product, the Ruler School Circuit Series now taking orders on our Q3 2024 circuit kits, and our guest lecturer members, Fight Ramen. Class is in session. Hey there, rulers. Welcome back after a long week of Force of Will to your favorite ever live Force of Will podcast. It's Office Hours, featuring myself, DMO73, and I've been abandoned by Mike and Paul, so Shunpo's back. Shunpo, good to have you back, bud.
Glad to be here.
Glad to have you, and boy, howdy, do we have a lot of spoilers to talk about. We got the rest of stuff for me soon. We got a ton of stuff for good old Bianchi and the Skulks. We got some crazy free spells to talk about. It's crazy. And maybe in there we'll get rampant speculation about the ban list that's probably going to drop in a few weeks. And we also got news about spoiler stuff, or like promos and stuff, so like that's pretty sick too. As always, as we're getting started, if you like what we're doing, want to consider supporting the channel financially, you can click that join button down below. It's easy, it's free. Well, it's not free to join, but you can subscribe, that's free. You can support us, we appreciate it anyway. And you can also check out the links in the description to go ahead and get your pre-orders in for Battle of the Sacred Ruins through Odyssey Games right now. Shunpo, here's my question.
Answer.
What ruler has you the most excited going into this set, and why is it Bianchi?
Good question, man. No, it's definitely cool that obviously you voiced Bianchi.
Yeah.
But I'm not a red player. I'm gonna be honest.
That's valid. Neither of us are.
Yeah, so but I mean, I think the card is still interesting for sure. But I personally right now like the Doctor the most.
Sure. Yeah.
His
Good old
card
Doc.
also just like and just like I prefer darkness over other colors. Personally.
You and me both, buddy. You and me both. Green black players unite. Let's go.
Yeah.
I think Aideen's shaping up to be pretty sick. I am a little bit. I've seen some discussion in the Discord servers about is because Alex is a white blue black ruler and kind of a mainstay character in this set, if she might be eating the Darkness Marvel. And so Aideen might not get a Marvel rare. That kind of makes me sad. But then I also think that Aideen got the best free spell. So maybe that makes up for it.
Yeah.
But we'll get into that. First off, we got to go back to Misung. We have, starting with part 4 of the Song of 6 Parts, the Om Namah Shivaya 5-drop martial art that can potentially be free for every instance based on the instance of monster you have, cannot be chased. And if the combined number of instances of mantra J/rulers you control is 4, J rulers with Misung in their name gain 1 instance of mantra, and Taoist J rulers you control gain +2/+2 and pierce until the end of the game. So a nice little stat pump. Unchaseable stat pump, adding pierce, pretty solid. The fact that this one, I kind of really like the fact that this one can just be absolutely free. Although I also know that, Patrick, you're in the chat. It is specifically that you have to have exactly 4 mantra on this one, I believe. Like, all of them have to be, like, it can't be like, well, I have 5, so because I have 5, I also have 4. I think it's like exactly, you have to have exactly 4, right? I think. Which makes sense. Which just means that all of these are essentially 1-drops. Like, they all become 1-drops. Yeah. So, that's nice. It's exact numbers. Yeah, that's what I thought too. Next up, we have the next song is... Am I missing a song? Maybe I am missing the song. This big one, where we have to have 5 mantra, costs less, gets to be a 1-drop. If the combined number of instances is 5, you gain 1. And if a Taoist J/Resonator you control would deal battle damage to a player, it deals triple that much instead. With Pierce, and Misung, who can attack 6 times. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we found the win con. This is ridiculous to me. I don't know. This is just
Before seeing this card, when I saw is his name Misung?
yeah,
I
Misung.
forgot his
Yeah.
name. Okay. So I saw his J ruler side and I was like, he kind of gave me like Vega vibes. And like now seeing this card, it's like Vega in light, maybe?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
This is just a JoJo's reference. Like this entire Muda 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 just all the
yeah.
punch. It's just raw JoJo's reference for this guy. Um yeah, I like the fact that all of his chants in general become 1 cost, I think is really good for him when you combine it with these like Taoist guys. Um I don't know. I'm glad that the one that grants the Pierce is the one that can't be chased because of like stuff with like cost reduction with like Muse staring at and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The one that gives you the thing to make it so your damage, even if it's not pumped a ton, will like always be connecting with your opponent, I think was the right one to put on like can't be chased on.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. And then we got some of his other support stuff. Specifically, we got the Makoto Cloth Corpse Tent, 2-drop addition. When this card leaves the field, you put all Taoist Resonators from your RFG that were removed by this card's effect into the field. Put all cards from your opponent's RFGs that were removed by this card into their owner's hand. Tap, remove target Resonator you control from the game. If you do, remove target non-Magic Stone, non-J Ruler entity your opponent controls from the game. And it has Mastery Taoist. So Misung or any of his Resonators can help you pay for this card almost immediately. Free spot removal on an activate ability in white.
Pretty good.
Seems decent.
Yeah.
Seems very decent. Not insane because there is like an inherent cost, but it has the upside benefit of when they come back, mine comes back in and yours go to hand. I sense Dark Alice Rabbit Princess being played in this deck. So you have instant speed ability to sack this card. Do keep in mind that you also start with a Taoist out the gate if playing solo mode because of the Master. Right? The Master with Eternal.
Yeah.
So like you have a Taoist on turn 1 that you can immediately get this into play with. So it's pretty good. Let's see. We have some of his other Resonators. Makoto Cloth Corpse Ritualist, 2-drop, untouchable first strike barrier from J/Res, 6/4. Has strong beliefs. As players gain as an additional cost to play a non-martial art, non-resonator spell, pay 1, and as an additional cost to play activate abilities, pay 1, as long as you don't control a Wind J Ruler. Each turn, only 2 strong belief abilities you control are applied, meaning if you have 2 of these guys, you can double tax, but you can't like triple tax, quadruple tax. And then solo mode is enter, remove target non-Taoist Resonator from the game. This guy's pretty solid. Like, white mid-range that also has ridiculously sticky boards and tells your opponent that they have to commit to board is kind of huge. Like, play this on turn 1 on against a Mylist Moonstart deck.
Yeah.
I'm like, nice Magic of Trust and Love. Would be a shame if you couldn't play it. I will say there has been some discussion, and so we can have a conversation about this. This language is not the first time we've had language that would be like clarified for people that it says activate abilities, but it doesn't say non-will activate abilities, which is the Neo Barrier of Shadows problem. Do you think they're going to clarify this to make it so that it's non-will activate abilities so that it doesn't require you to pay 1 to produce 1 with a Magic Stone?
Yeah, I could see them doing something like that. Yeah.
I mean, like just clarifying.
Maybe.
I think I think a very easy clarification within the CR or like the Q&A to just be like, "Hey, we whoops."
Yeah,
If not, then the game is unplayable. Yep, you just played this
yeah.
guy and you go,
Guess we're stare at each other.
mastery, bros. Mastery or bust. That's all we got.
Yeah.
Let's go. Um, that's which is just very funny to me. Um, but I mean, a cool card. Anything. I think there's anything that you can do. I think in this environment, I think it's the biggest lesson from this past format. Anything that you can do to make resonator based strategies feel comfortable, not overpowering, but comfortable to commit to, I think is a good choice in the era of such efficient spot removal and burn, right? Even outside of what the ban list might do, right? I think making resonators feel comfortable or like being the like main bread and butter is a good space to take, moving forward, right? Because I think,
Yeah.
like, think about what this hits. It hits Seer. Seer now has to make all of their spot removal a little bit more, which therefore makes it feel a little bit like they can't fight you as much, which then makes it so, like, when they do get a treasury item, it's like, okay, you got it, well done. You still felt like you had to spend a lot of resources to get to it. It hits Burn, right? Because they just can't be throwing a million spells at you. Because they just will actually have to pay Will for it. Um, it makes it's not as like debilitating as like the Hanada um extension rule. Like it's not going to hit quick cast resonators. Like it still makes resonators good, but I think that's the point. Like I think Misung's point is like we're fighting, like we're gonna meet on the field of battle and have a good time about it. So I think they designed it really well in that.
And honestly, I get that feeling from this whole set. They're really pushing for a more resonator heavy playstyle again.
Yeah, for
So
sure. And especially if they follow up with the ban list kind of as we expect, right? To hit
yeah,
like the more degenerate, like non-board based lethal strategies, then like resonator strats are going to feel much better again.
yeah, 100%.
And then we have last one is our mantra manipulator, the Makoto Cloth Corpse Specialist Tang Song. As long as you control 3 or more instances of mantra, he only costs you 1 white, and he has quick cast and protect as a 7/7. You can remove an instance of mantra from your J/ruler, recover this card once per turn, so you can potentially swing twice or protect twice. Whenever a player plays a chant spell, choose each ability only once per turn. It gains flying and bury your chant until end of turn. Or entities you control cannot be removed from the game until end of turn. Or rest up to 1 target J/resonator. I don't know why it was give the card flying. Can I be honest? I don't know why it was give this card flying.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they're trying to like get you to buff this guy or something. Like
Yeah,
just like swing multiple times.
yeah. I mean, I get it because like it's whenever a player, so it's even when you play it on your side, right? So like the idea
No.
being like swing, play a thing, recover, swing again. Um, in that sense, I understand it. I kind of wish it was give him Eternal instead.
That's what I was thinking. I think they want you to pair him up with like the old man to like tap, give him Eternal, but like if he could have Eternal by himself, it'd be really good.
Yeah, for sure. I think it'd be way better if he could have Eternal by himself, especially considering how we know for a fact that Protect answers flying because it's not actually blocking, it's changing the attack target. So,
Yeah.
like, giving him flying if you're wanting to be defensive with him doesn't make sense because he'll be able to block anything anyway. So, I kind of wish it was Eternal instead. I also think in general Eternal would have been better even for the attacking twice section, right? Because like
Yeah.
he gives flying. What if I also have a flyer? Then I'm just gonna block you. And then what if I deal 700 damage in that block? Like it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
Or what if I also have something with protect, right? Like you know what I mean? It just feels like I think it like don't get me wrong, this guy is very good. Like I think it's a very very good card. Um, but um, I think it would have been better if it was a turtle.
I agree.
Good ABC card though.
Yeah,
Card seems very good in ABC.
like 86 gonna have fun with this.
Good. Giving him Eternal would have been too good. Very potentially. Like that. Like that's. I mean, like I see it. I see it for sure. Um, but you can only choose each option once per turn, and his base stats are only 7. Right. So I'm like, hmm. Still good though. Definitely feels like a Marvel rare. Artwork to match justification of a Marvel rare. Very cool. Very cool card. So now we get to go into the Bianchi stuff. We got Kibie's lunar pollution filtering helmet. It is a machine moon technology. 2-pin, you feel like they're moving away from stones with no types. We'll talk about that. Did I see the funny interaction with saying Tang Song? Feel free to tell me while I'm talking about this next card, Patrick. Werefox J rulers you control gain imperishable. Very helpful. Tap, remove all -1/-1 counters from all J/resonators. Put all of them on this card, and it's doubled. So you double them. And then you can tap and remove 2 from this card to pay 1 red to play Werefox Resonators. And you can pay 1 red and remove up to 3 counters to put Y -1/-1 counters, where Y is the number so you essentially tap it to suck up all the -1s. You can burn 2 of them to produce red, and then you can pay red to redistribute up to 3 of those -1/-1 counters to something else. So it's just all -1/-1 counter manipulation, which I think is neat. I gotta go look it back up real quick. If you have a replacement effect that entities that would go to graveyard, grave active, and his things can't be RFG'd, the entities will just stay on field if they're destroyed. Interesting. With Tang Song, which card is that? This new dude? Hold on. Entities you control cannot be removed from the game until the end of the turn. Oh, so if they would go to graveyard, they get RFG'd instead? That's not... I don't think that's true. Because the same replacement thing would happen twice, and therefore they'd go to grave. Like... Or does it make, like, the effect to try to... Like, stat negs. So, like, if you have that... I don't know what you're talking... It seems very complicated and very unlikely to come up ever. But I kind of get what you're saying. But double replacement effects are the only... Like, begs me to wonder how relevant that is. Anyway, moving on. There's the one witch. I'm actually going to pull it up on screen here right now. That does the... +1/+1 counters become -1/-1 counters, right? The
I thought
witch
talking
Trinity.
about the light witch from Thoth. Isn't it like just counters become 0 or something like that?
Is it that they become +0/+0 counters instead?
There's like things like nothing. They don't have any counters instead or something like that.
Double checking. Battle damage can't be prevented. We're doing it live. Can't perform 4C effects. They become 0/0 counters. Dang it,
Yeah.
that sucks.
No.
If she had become -1/-1 counters, I'd be like, I'm putting forward this card in a Kimie deck. Like, and all the +1/+1 counter stuff. Like, even more ways to generate -1/-1 counters is pretty nice. Okay, so with that out of the way, let's go back here.
But
Next
even with, like the redistrib. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I would say with the redistribution with the helmet, I don't think it's not a once per turn, right? Yeah, it's not. So you could do it like maybe like before recovery, and then like maybe like set up like a board nuke for like another turn or something, or on their turn, right? With smoke screen bomb.
Yeah. for sure. Yeah, I think there's some pretty cool stuff for her. She definitely feels like the control-y side of the Werefox package, right? Where Bianchi feels like the aggro side of it.
Yeah.
Um, oh, main time. The redistribution is main timing only, isn't it?
Is it?
Mm-mm. The stealing is main timing. Yeah, stealing all of them is your main timing, but then you can like mana sync the distribution of them. The stealing all the -1/-1 counters is uh only during main timing. That's fair. Next up, we have Pollution Amplifier. This is a 1 red machine. This is probably the machine that Bianchi is cheating in at the beginning of the game. Tap, each player's weather is pollution until end of turn. Tap, if your weather is pollution, you draw a card. And pay 2 red, discard a card. If you do, recover this card. And on solo mode, it has Toxic Spread for 1 red. Put a -1/-1 counter on each J/Resonator whose controller's weather is pollution. I wish this card had Eternal. I wish this edition
Yeah.
had Eternal or or even like
Like
Barrier
barrier.
Chant,
Yeah.
like Barrier. I mean, I don't know. Like the biggest question for Bianchi and Kimie is how good are they solo mode versus how good are they tagging together? And I don't know where I'm at with this card.
I could
Um,
see people playing Boy Staring At to like for the pitch effect at least.
yeah, for sure. Um, double red is a lot though.
Yeah.
Like,
I wish it was one.
yeah, for sure. Um, but this is obviously the machine that you're trying to cheat in off of Bianchi, so that you have weather, and that would only be if you were playing tag. Like if you were playing tag Bianchi, then you would do it. If you're playing solo mode Bianchi, the weather is just pollution, like
Right.
just perma, and you're still probably cheating at this in, but then it's a draw card, which is like kind of better. Just like
Yeah.
tap draw card every turn seems good.
Yep.
Um, next up we have a card that is going to be a 4 of in every Kimie deck and Bianchi deck. Gathering the Skulk, 1 red. Each player's weather is pollution until end of turn. Draw a card. It's the weather is rain, only for pollution, like as expected. Good that they made something like this. For it being a rare, it would be needing to be a rare to have barrier. That's fair. That's fair. It just feels like something that's such a good part of Bianchi's kit that I would want him to keep it around. But I mean, its base cost is only 1 red, so like if you have to play another one later, it's probably fine. Yeah, weather change rain. Woo. Um, next up we have the Skulk's Assault Troopers, 2 red machine Werefox 3/5 with Bloodlust. This card gains untouchable in all zones as long as your opponent controls a magic stone without a magic stone type. Nice Moonshade. Thanks for making my stuff untouchable. Gains multi-strike as long as your opponent's weather is pollution. And on enter, if you played this card, banish a magic stone. If you do, choose a magic stone and destroy it. Doesn't target, just destroys. Then each player searches their magic stone deck for a magic stone with a magic stone type and puts it into the field rested. These magic stones gained, they cannot be recovered as they enter the field until the end of the next turn. Players that search their magic stone deck this way, shuffle it. So you pop one of the stones that you used to play this guy, replace it with something that's not gonna, which will then get to recover on your turn, but your opponents won't get to recover because it's until the end of the next turn. So it like truly doesn't impact you at all. And you get to pop your opponent's stones. And if they're not playing stones with the magic stone type, you just ate a stone. Nom
Yeah.
nom. I like this guy a lot. I think this guy's a 4 of in like every Bianchi deck.
Yeah, he's pretty solid. But also did they change the name? Because I think like Skulks or Soul Troopers were for like another card, but then they put it onto him.
Yeah. It was
Oh,
previously. I think the Salt Troopers was previously on the one that they first showed us with like the little chainsaw, and its name got
yeah.
added to this guy.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. But yeah, overall he's solid, and it definitely seems like they're really pushing us to not have a greedy stone base. They want us to play in maybe like 2 colors, like 3 would be pushing it now.
Yeah, 2 color main splash third, right?
Yeah.
Good. As someone who's been playing that way for the past year, I'm just like, come play my way. It's a lot more fun. Sorry, all you IU players.
Pain. Every day, just more pain.
Just more pain. Nice possession stone. Would be a shame if I destroyed it immediately. Oh, you don't have any other you only have stones that don't have types? That's rough. That's rough, buddy.
Unlucky.
It doesn't kill the Grim Omni stones, yes, because those have a turtle. That's true. But IU doesn't play those. So we
This is
got
true.
there. Next up, we also have Biker Gang's Hammer Wielder. Speaking of things about special magic stones, 3-drop Machine Werefox, 9/5 with Bloodlust and Pierce. On enter, this card deals 300 damage multiplied by the combined number of magic stones each player controls without a magic stone type to each player. So it hits both sides. If your opponent's weather is pollution, you repeat this process once. So it's split heaven and earth on a body.
Yeah.
And if you're in solo mode, it costs you 1 less to play him. And he can't be canceled as long as your opponent controls a magic stone without a magic stone type.
Very good.
Seems good. 2-drop 9/5. That's a body plus split heaven and earth.
The only worry I would have with the solo mode part is they're forcing you to like do the cost reduction, so then you could get hit by Mew Spirit.
Sure. Yep. I also just like the fact. I wish it was that. I wish if the weather was pollution that it only dealt damage to your opponent instead of repeating the process.
Yeah.
Right? Because there are worlds where you're like, I cannot cast this because I will kill myself.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know how I feel about this guy. I wish that the bonus wasn't repeating it, was instead, if your opponent's weather is pollution, it's just to your opponent.
Yeah. I think hitting yourself twice is just, yeah, it's rough.
Yeah. All these enter effects. Time to go back to turn 1 Ray Asnable. That's fair. Next up we have, like we said, that Biker King's Chainsaw Whirler. That's the guy you talked about before, the Assault Troopers. 1 red 4/4 with Bloodlust, gains multi-strike as long as there's a -1/-1 counter on it, and your opponent's weather is pollution. So, pretty generic little double striking 1-drop that has to attack every turn. There you go. There's nothing really to say about that guy. Thanks to, well, we also have the spiky tires got showed off, right? So we got spiky tires.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So spiky tires, 4-drop. You pay 1 red less to play this card. Each Werefox ruler and machine Werefox J/Resonator you control with different names. So if you're playing solo mode, or if you're playing tag, there's a very real chance that this starts as a 1-drop. Battle damage can't be prevented. That's nice. Add more nails. Whenever a machine Werefox J/Resonator you control attacks, it deals 400 damage to the attacked object. If your weather is pollution, it deals 400 damage plus an additional X 100 damage instead, where X is the number of entities named spiky tires you control. So if you have a bunch of spiky tires, you get to deal potentially a maximum of 800 damage every single time you swing, like bonus.
Yeah.
And do keep in mind that it is the thing attacking. Like, the thing that is attacking is the thing that's dealing the damage to you. So, that's neat. The hammer guy, you can play Calamity Shield. That's true. That's
Mikey
very
killing
true.
the spiky tires.
Why? Just play another spiky tires. So here's the thing. If you start with Mikey plus Kimie plus cheating in a thing off of Kimie or Bianchi means that you potentially could play like spike like all of your spiky tires out on like turn 2? Just flood the
Just wouldn't
zone.
have a hand, but
Just
yeah.
yeah. 8 spiky tires. That's very funny. And then we today we got the Marvel rare Truck Coon. This is Biker Gang's Truck Bosozoku. It is a 4-drop 12/10 Mythic Bloodlust First Strike. Machine Resonators gain swiftness as long as your weather is pollution. Enter, put a Werefox Resonator of total cost 3 or less from your hand into the field. If your opponent's weather is pollution, you can repeat it. Once, if you do, put 3 -1/-1 counters on this. And this card gains multi-strike as long as there are 3 or more Machine Werefox J/Resonators that have attacked this turn and your weather is pollution. I really wish this guy had a way to get untouchable. Like, especially since he has no cost reduction. Like,
Yeah.
make a 4-drop, have untouchable, please. Can we have more than 4? Yeah. I like it a lot. I think it's neat. I think it's the war rig. I question its ability to resolve. I said it. There, I said it.
Yeah, it's gonna be rough. I do wish they had untouchable. Again, I think on 4 costs in general, you should especially if there's no like cost reduction, you should make it untouchable, which is why I think like Sphinx was like really good in that department. Because if it didn't have it, then it would be a little rough.
Even making this card like have untouchable if your ruler is Bianchi, like something like that, right?
Yeah.
Like, so that it's not like, well, everyone can just have this 4-drop untouchable thing. Like, no, Bianchi gets this 4-drop untouchable thing, right? But it's still neat. It's still neat. What was the other card that was spoiled today? From the official channel.
There was a good amount, I think. You're talking about the video, right?
No, not the video. We'll talk about that. I'm talking about like on the actual web page. The last one that was, oh no, Biker Gang's Chainsaw Whirler. So we already talked about that one. Okay, cool. So we're caught up on those. So then we had Converging Wills got to share their exclusive spoilers today, and there's some spice in there. We also got some spice from the video that happened today. So let's talk about Converging Wills first. First up, we have Apollo Vessel over the Moon City. It's a Regalia, 1 blue, triple moon. Pay 1 moon less to play for each treasury item card you control in public zones, so including in the graveyard. Water J/rulers you control gain flying and barrier. This card gains the following abilities as long as you control a Water J/ruler with Moon Princess or Kaguya in its name. Pay 2 blue, put target treasury item from your graveyard into your hand. Tap, search your hand or deck for a card named Apollo Break, the Moonblast, or Shooting Star, and pay it without paying its cost. If you do, awaken it without paying the awakening cost. If you searched your deck, shuffle it. This is the Lunar Princess of Stellar Wars Kaguya support card. Like, all of the treasury item stuff was all this K1 support. There was another Kaguya in Alice Cluster. There was the Lunar Princess of Stellar Wars. This is her card. This is the Lunar Princess of Stellar Wars card. For sure. So it's nice that she gets something. Why do they gotta specify water Kaguya? Because it's a Lunar Princess card, not anything else. Real quick, let's go look up exactly what Shooting Star does to explain to people what that does and why it's important. So Shooting Star is a spell chant instant for 2 blue that changes the target of a normal spell with a single target. So this thing just becomes tap, repeatable, redirect, right? So that's a thing. And Apollo Break is put the top target resonator on top of its owner's main deck, and if you awaken it, you put the target resonator on the bottom of its owner's main deck and draw a card instead. So this becomes spot removal plus cantrips, repeatable on a treasury item edition, and buyback. seems pretty decent. Of all the cards that Jeremy should have got to spoil, this was Converging Wills. I didn't get to spoil this. Converging Wills spoil these. Yeah, it's also not a treasury item, so K1 can't grab it. No Trials. Trials has enough love. I don't know. It's neat. Might get me to look at her again. Then we got a Skulk card. Skulk's Sniper. Oh, it should have been a card I got to spoil. That's fine. Skulk Sniper. 1 red, 1 void, Werefox, 6/4, can't be canceled. We like that.
Oh yeah.
Damage can't be prevented. We like that. Tap, choose a Resonator. This card deals X hundred damage to the Resonator where X is the attack of this card. If your weather is pollution, repeat this process once. It doesn't target.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good. So this card is very, very good. Does not target. Potentially 1,200 damage spot removal to something. Can't be canceled. Audit activate ability. Like, can't prevent damage. This card slaps.
I also like they're putting more and more damage to not be prevented on more cards because we needed it.
Yes, it's nice to have. Yeah, for sure. It's nice. This card is very, very good. Just, I mean, even the tap ability for 600 damage is pretty good. And like you said, pew pew, get wrecked, Spirit. Yeah, this is a thing for like, this is another thing. So this one and the Darkness, every Resonator that entered before this card resolves gets minus 500 defense or whatever, are great like follow-ups to Spirit. Like, oh, you flashed in a Spirit? Cool. After that Spirit resolved, before my thing resolved, get rid of the Spirit. We keep going, right? So more ways to fight over Spirit of Mirage Ruins, which is just very nice.
Yep.
I cast Gun. Jeez. Next up we have Hanada Corpse Guardian Angel Mark 0. 4 cost. Angel Automaton. The fact that this is an angel is hilarious. Celestial Wing Seraph. Go grab this. Yeah. Just go grab this. Remnant Mythic Flying Pierce. 12/9. As an additional cost, you may expel a Resonator with Sarah in its name and a Resonator with a Buki in its name. If you do, you pay one void to cast this card, and players cannot chase it. This is very nice. This card gains Quick Cast and Multi-Strike in all zones as long as you control a card named Hanada Corpse CEO Skyscraper. And on enter, destroy all non-Hanada, non-Magic Stone entities and destroy all Magic Stones without a Magic Stone type. Huh. Curious.
Imagine if it was like unchaseable or like untouchable.
This feels like a boss monster. I mean, even like as a 4-drop, like the fact that it's a 4-drop quick cast, like it feels as impactful as like a Sphinx, right? Like just comes in at end phase because we're playing a late game. Boom. The only problem is that giving it quick cast, playing it during your opponent's turn, is taxed higher. Because of the extension rule, which again, I honestly think is also good design. Like, yeah, I think it's good. Those kinds of taxes should be both sides and shouldn't just let you set up manipulations, which I think is great. Hey, this has Remnant. That's funny. Yeah, it's funny. And then next up we got, what was it? Those were the 4th card from them.
Uppercut
is like the last card from them is Uppercut, right? So this is high speed uppercut treatment. 2 black and 1 quick cast. You may expel a darkness card rather than pay this card's cost. If it's not your turn and you don't control a Wind/Ruler, choose 1. Destroy target Resonator with a total cost of 2 or less, and each Resonator that shares a race with the chosen target. Each player gains 200 life. Or Name a card at resolution in your opponent's graveyard or removed area. Search your opponent's deck, graveyard, hand, or removed area for all cards that share a name with those chosen targets or card, and your opponent expels them.
Oh,
Nice,
it comes from then on crack.
nice Ega Stone would be a shame if I got rid of every single copy of it immediately.
Yeet.
Yeah, yeet. I think this card's very good. I think this card is hands down going to change how we build main decks. It's going to force diversification and not let me just slam play sets of the best copies of best cards in the game. I overall think this card is very, very nice. I think it's designed well in the fact that it's only during your opponent's turn. Decks that can manipulate it doesn't target, so it's like going to feel comfortable resolving most of the time because you'll be able to hit something. I think it's very good. It doesn't like it can't hit stuff that's in hand. It has to be something that like art. You can't like. We've had decks that just like blind cast battle comes to an end and like your opponent's like can't stop it. Guess I lose everything before I even started. This like something else has to have happened first. It doesn't have untouchable. Like so it can be responded to. You can remove, kind of manipulate the card or try to get back into your deck the card that they're hitting or try to buy it back before it actually stays there. Like there's a lot of things that can go well with this card. I really, really, really like it.
You'd have because the second mode is on resolution where you name the card, right?
Correct.
So, like that's when you would just hit it. So you would have to that's when you're. I mean, you have to like horn yourself or something if they're targeting something in gray.
Yeah. It doesn't even target, right? You just have to like.
Oh right, yeah.
You just have to know what they might call and like manipulate it to try to get out of it. It's a free look at your opponent's hand too. That's very true. Mm-hmm. It is a free look at your opponent's hand. This card is. I like this card a lot. You will be able to make this card less good by playing 2-ofs and 3-ofs. So that it's not hitting as much, right? Diversity toolbox decks will get the benefit of the doubt with this kind of card. And playing multiple threats will also be good for you with this card.
Ferris Wheel's pretty good.
Ferris Wheel is also very good, right? Based on what the ban list is, we could see Ferris Wheel come back in a big way, potentially. Or, even Persephone is pretty good against this, right? Because it's like you still kind of go net 0, I guess, with the Persephone because they had to expel a card. So like, very good card, hands down, going to influence meta. Like, build. It's like, Darkness got some pretty heavy meta defining cards, in this set, which I think is great because heaven knows Gandinia didn't do anything. So, we do get to talk about some stuff that was spoiled today. Specifically, we got to see the next one of the monthly promos that's coming up, which is nice, being Sword of Progression, coming out as a monthly promo, because they did a video talking about some of the cool stuff and kind of their justification for promo choices. This Sword of Progress looks sick. Looks absolutely sick. And it's another way to get like the proper text for Sword of Progress into people's hands, which is always helpful.
I need a place of these. That looks so good.
Yeah, for sure. And then we got 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we got 5 cards spoiled in the set, talking about some more. It was Lucy, and Leica stuff. They were talking about how Leica and Lucy are still traveling, trying to find her mom.
Yeah, I think it was 6 cards.
Was it 6? Well, we'll start with the Great Work 2, Albedo. 1 white, 1 blue. Alchemy. You pay 1 blue less to play this card if it's the first spell called the Great Work you played this game. Put any number of elemental spirit cards from your item area on the bottom of your deck in any order. Perform the following effect based on the attributes of the cards moved. Pay for one if you moved a white card until the end of the next turn. Damage that would be dealt in any way becomes 0 instead. And if you do blue, up to X, target resonators gain minus X hundred attack until the end of the next turn, where X is the number of elemental cards you control in public areas. So we got a little fog. Got a little defensive fog.
Nah.
It's not
And again,
damage prevention. It's also
yeah,
not damage prevention. It's damage replacement, which is a
yeah,
very big distinction that they have made with this set. A lot of damage replacement with this is great. Oh, Lunar Protective Lifeform. You're correct. Thank you very much. That is the other card that we were talking about. Yeah, this card's not bad.
yeah.
It's not bad. I don't necessarily know if Lucy needed this card, but it's, you know, we probably will get another great work next set. Like I very much feel like they're setting up Lucy and Leica to come back in a kind of really big way for set 3, like setting them up as like the saviors of the world in set 3. So
Right.
we're kind of like, this is just kind of cards to remind them, like, hey, by the way, don't forget Lucy and Leica exist. We'll come back to that later. Let's talk about that Lunar Protective card, because I know you were talking with me about it before the cast. So Lunar Protective Lifeform, it's the white expel thing. You choose 2, remove target non-golem resonator from battle. Resonators sharing an attribute with the chosen target cannot attack until the end of turn. Draw a card. Until the end of turn, non-battle damage that would be dealt to you or Jade resonators you control by sources you don't control becomes 0 instead. And you gain 1,500 life. This is just Amaterasu's foresight on steroids. Like, because you just pick the first 2 modes. You know what I mean? To like
No.
damage prevent and remove something and draw a card to replace the card that you expelled.
Yeah.
I think this is the only one of the I think this is the only one of the free spells that cantrips, right? It's just
I
this one,
believe so.
which is good. Good. Make the 100% defensive spell the one that cantrips. Like,
Yeah.
there's no aggro in this. There's no aggression in this. I think this is very good. I think this will see, you know, very easy sideboard slotting, even outside of like a you know, if you're playing light at all, this becomes, you know, a very easy sideboard slot card.
Yeah.
You can't wait for Spider FTK? Explain. With Regalia, sure, fine. Okay. Because of the idea of like unchaseable Therion morphings plus Regalia and stuff. Oh, sure. Tap out and do that and then immediately get killed with any form of spell removal. We'll talk about that in a second. So let's talk about Leica cards. We have Spider of Aradia. 1 red, 1 black. Aradia Beast Spider. Precision Bane. This card gains plus X100 attack, where X is the number of Spider J/Resonators you control. J/Resonators battling with this card gain minus 400 attack. When this card is discarded, if you control a Lycanthrope J/Ruler, put this card from your graveyard into the field. So it's bird. It's just the bird replacement, right? So if you can go for Spider Morphed versus Bird Morphed. I do want to say that this card is a trigger. And so if you're trying to go super cheesy into Spider FTK, high speed uppercut would like a word. I'll discard Spider. Trigger Spider? Cool. High speed uppercut. Like, get rid of every single copy of Spider from your deck. Stares at 5 Regalia in hand. Oh.
I see.
Whoops. We did it. We did it, boys. The new beasts are 2-drops, not 1-drops. That's also important. Yep. And then we did get Spider Morphed form for Leica. She is a 0/8 Precision Bane. Spider J/Resonators you control gain plus 100 and Belligerence. Attacking doesn't cause this card to rest. This card can attack up to 8 times during your opponent's main phase. Enter, search your deck for a Darkness Spider Resonator with total cost 2 or less and put it into the field, then shuffle your deck. Tap, pay 1 red. This card deals 200 damage to target J/Resonator. Also, the other thing, too, is she doesn't have swiftness. And I don't, like, what Regalia is going to give her swiftness? I don't, correct me if I'm wrong, Patrick, hard to FTK someone if you can't attack them. Valid? Leviton's banned. I'll do it. Get him. You know what? Let him cook. Let him cook. No, this is, I mean, like, Spider Arachnid Morph's cool. I think Snake Morphed is way better, and we'll talk about that in a second. Red-Black Leviton isn't, but then you need Red-Black Will. So how are we FTKing with this? Like, yeah. But like, we have to be going second. We still have to call Stone, and then we fully tap out to play the Regalia. So we need Regalia. We need another Regalia. We need Spider. We need Therion Morphing that we won't have a will to cast because we paid 2 will. Although it does cost you 1 less because of Spider, right? Doesn't Spider say you pay 1 less to play Therion Morphing? No, that's Snake. That's Snake that lets you. That's Snake that lets you pay 1 red less. So we've broken it. I've also broken that line immediately. Needs to be turn 2. Yes.
Personally, I wish they didn't make you pay a will to ping something for 2.
Sure. The fact that she has Bane, though, I think is the kind of the reason why. Like, it makes it like so that there is spot removal for it. Interestingly enough, she still has to tap to call Stone. This version does.
Right.
The other versions didn't have to tap to call Stone. Spider Morphed, Arachnid Morph specifically does still have to tap to call Stone, which I think is interesting. Definitely feels like a card that you're playing more to the control game with her. Like, you want some stones already up before you start making use of her.
Yeah.
Need Rabbit, Spider, Knight, 2 Regalia, and being a second. Knight of Transcendence?
I think so.
Yes, you need a perfect hand. But then how do you get swiftness? How do you get Knight of Transcendence? Oh, plus Therion Morphing. So Rabbit, Spider, Knight, 2 Regalia, Therion Rabbit, Spider, Knight, 2 Regalia, Therion Morphing, and going second. You need an exact perfect 6-card hand, which leaves you 0 interaction. You know what? If you get it, you got it. Like, you got it. You got it, Jobin. Like, respect. Much like Electra, you can call Stone after you attack. Oh, I guess. Like, attack a bunch of times and then call Stone with her. I guess I can see that. That's fair. That's very valid. But then you have less will for interaction. So, I'm okay with this as well. Next, we have Snake Morphed. So we have Snake of Aradia, Untouchable Swiftness, can't be mirrored. Pay 1 red less to play cards named Therion Morphing that target this card. So free transformations, essentially. J/Resonators your opponent controls cannot attack or block this card. Whenever this card deals battle damage to your opponent, draw a card. If you control a Lycanthrope J/Ruler, your opponent shuffles a card chosen at random from their hand into the deck. This card is cracked. Like, hands down, this card is cracked. Jeez Louise, is that good. Like, cannot be blocked, so it's gonna deal battle damage, and then just mess with your opponent's steez.
Yeah, I like it a lot. Making it so that people can't attack or block it, and then also being able to just, again, you get swiftness, so you're able to get a free swing off essentially, and then get the ball rolling.
Get the ball rolling. Yeah. It's really good. Dolly's a beast. What are you doing? What are you doing? This man's cooking. So then we have Like a Snake Morphed, Untouchable, incredibly relevant. Like, seriously, insanely relevant that this card has Untouchable. Calling a Magic Stone doesn't card this card to rest. J/Resonators you control cannot attack or block this card, so it carries over from Snake form. Whenever this card deals battle damage, draw 2 cards. Your opponent shuffles a card chosen at random from their hand into the deck. And here's the kicker to me, which is why it's crazy that she is untouchable. Pay 1 blue, change the target of a spell or ability with a single target that targets this card. She just redirects everything off of herself. That's
It's like Medusa vibes.
insanely good. Like, that's insanely good. Like, this is hands down Leica's best form. Like,
Yeah.
and it's not close. Like,
Yeah.
it's not close. Like, far into like if this card had come out, if Leica Snake Morphs had been part of set 1, I think you would have seen Leica topping tournaments because of how good I think this card is.
Yeah.
Like, jeez, is this card ever insanely good? Absolutely correct. Snake is also just so good. I like Snake and Snake Morphs is just like be still my heart. Red Blue getting some serious love recently for Force of Will for being the like most underrated card colors in Force of Will's history since forever. Yeah, Snake Morph's very, very cool. It makes me very curious to see what Lucy and Leica are gonna get in the last set. Who knows? Who knows? Like a Chimera morphed,
Oh.
where she's like all of the different forms all at once, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
That would be pretty sick.
Like a boss monster. Yeah.
Yeah, like a big old boss monster where she's just like everything all at once.
Yeah.
Or like dragon morphed or something. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty sick. There's a lot of possibilities here. This set's looking hype, man. This set's looking hype. Like a stealing Utsune stuff. Utsune's form. Nine-tailed fox form. Let's go. Yeah, I mean, that's it for us for tonight. That's the spoilers. Overall, things are looking pretty sick. Just a reminder, the last event of the season before Worlds is this Saturday, the Discord event for Games and Geek. You go to fowtcg.com. You can go get registered for all of that stuff. We hope to see you there. We will be streaming it. I will probably be commentating it solo. So come, if you're not going to play in it, which you should in general, you can come hang out and watch me talk to myself for a very long time. Yay! Maybe I'll do it like a React style or something. I don't know. But we'll see what comes out on top to take home the last paid invite and or last unpaid invite, and hopefully it'll be we'll be cheering on Shunpo to victory. Gotta get him there. Gotta get him to Japan, and yeah, it's gonna be exciting. So now that we've talked about more of the spoilers tonight, Shunpo, what is it? Still just Aideen? Is Aideen still has your love and affection?
Aideen, yeah. Again, I'll probably try Leica.
Yeah.
But and actually honestly with like the other cards that we've seen even try out like Kimihei and Bianchi, but and then it's just
join in the skulk.
Yeah, I mean we're gonna have plenty of time to like mess around with things.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll probably be on Untap just playing games and just
goofing
messing
around,
seeing what works.
Yeah, for sure. I think there's a lot of fun, and the beauty is like for those people who are not qualified for Worlds, this set also seems like it's a perfect beginning of the off-season set to come out, if that makes sense. Like, because there's so much goofy stuff that we'll be able to build and play around with and try out solo mode versus tag versus which combination versus which Grim Ruler versus, like all this other stuff. And like, there'll be no stakes. It's just like goofing off and hanging out, which I think is awesome. I think it'll be very fun. And yeah, that's it for us for tonight. So thank you all so much for being here, hanging out with us to talk about stuff. We'll see you this weekend. And until next time, this is DMO73, and I've been joined by Shunpo.
How's it going? Best luck to everyone in the GP.
Class dismissed.